brought up you traveled a little bit, and Danny was telling me that you like to travel alone.
Yeah.
How did you start doing this? Again, as a black man, as a gay black man, this is a wild.
So what got me into traveling by myself was just the idea of not having to ask other people. It's gonna be lit, and we all kind of met. We had like a little posse, so like by the end of the trip, I was like, "Yo, I don't want to leave." It was like leaving summer camp. It was like, "Oh my god, like I'll give you your information. We gotta hang out." I ain't seen none of their asses since.
Damn.
Met in Aruba, came back, didn't talk to them.
No, like you know,
That's
we might see each other on
hilarious.
Instagram, but so that was like my first trip, and it was just like nice. It just taught me how to like. At that time, I think I needed the reassurance. Of,
Wait,
like,
that was your first alone trip?
first alone trip.
To
I went to
Aruba?
Did you,
to like help younger people learn about these industries and how to, like I said, be autonomous. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna teach you, you know, about marketing campaigns, but how can you use this for yourself?
Yeah.
So right now, it's like there's like I see it every day, and it's like I want to teach people about the shit that like I don't know about or things
You
I'm
wish
learning
you
about
knew.
that I wish I knew. So
Yeah.
like whether it's like, all right, if you start freelancing, you gotta know how to do your own taxes, or if you're into YouTube, here's 10 ways to monetize that or things to do.
Okay, I got a scenario for you.
Okay, put me on. This is fun. I like the game.
Giving you a bag. Like
Okay.
a bag. Whatever a bag is to you, it's a bag.
Uh-huh.
But your first ad campaign is the return of Kanye. How are you going to market it? What do you do in this situation? It's the return of Kanye. He's back to Adidas.
Yo.
He just said all this wildness. What are you doing?
Oh, snooze
Great
people.
one.
That one's came out like after. I feel like more
Yeah.
people have been on the snooze train, snooze vibe. But yeah, I'm part of the SZA Salad. I don't know what her group is called.
I've never heard that. Is that a thing? Is that what it's called?
That's what me and my roommate say.
know.
I don't
never
think there's
heard
a better name for that though.
That's
SZA
fire, though.
Salad.
And we're back with another one.
Yo.
One Stray Boys. You got your host Daquan here. You got your other host Danny here.
What's
And
up?
we got a guest. You want to introduce the guest, Danny?
Yeah, so what's up? This is my boy Brandon. Known each other from how many years now? Shit, since junior, senior year of high school.
Yeah, damn.
Till now, so that's what, at least 6-7 years now.
No, bro, I think
Shit.
it's like almost 9. I did
Is
the
it?
math quick.
Is it? Oh, you did the math quick?
2013, because we graduated, 2014?
Yeah.
So like,
Okay, actually, yeah.
2013,
Yeah, all right.
yeah, so
Yeah,
almost like-
yeah, when you got the year, then yeah, that is shit.
now like 9. That's
Shit.
crazy. Going
Damn.
on 10. Yeah. That
Shit.
is
It doesn't
crazy.
feel that long, not gonna lie.
Do y'all
Nah.
remember how y'all met? Like what class it was? Lunch?
So that's the thing. He's a year older, so we never had class. But
Just inner circles.
no. So he would do the play, and my English teacher at the time, she would create the play and run it.
Yeah.
And I just volunteered one day to like do stage crew, and then I met everyone that would do the play, and that's how I
You're
met
a
him.
theater kid, huh?
Yeah, I guess at heart, like, I mean, this is perfect that I'm on this podcast. But nah, yeah, we used to do the plays. I feel like it was just like fun, like something to do, and you make like good friends.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how Danny
how we
and
met.
I met, and we just hit it off. I don't
Yeah,
know.
we
like,
did.
I feel like there was like I met a lot of people that were like on stage crew. But I don't know. I feel like Danny was like the same type of chill, like down to do shit, but also
Danny's always been
cool
super
and
chill.
like no drama. Like
Yep.
that's my type of friend. Like I don't know, mess. We just good vibes. Fucking eat, watch a movie. Like
That's fine. Yeah, and then he graduated. We still kept chilling.
yeah. So this is my homie ever since.
Yeah, been calm.
Fire.
Yeah.
So you were just telling us before the pod you work in marketing. How'd you get started in that?
Oh yeah, so I currently work in like marketing and advertising at a place called Wyden and Kennedy, and it's like a really dope like creative marketing agency. But before I get into that, yeah, like how I got started, it honestly is like funny. Like I went to school, I studied like traditional like journalism at start,
Okay.
like. I was trying to be like, on like the news or a radio personality. And then I took this one writing class. It was like journalistic writing. And my professor, I was failing. And he was like, if you change majors and drop this class, you would have a really good GPA.
Oh, shit.
But like with the current grades you getting though, it's not
not
going
gonna cut out.
cut it
Oh,
out. So then I switched majors to something called strategic communications, which is like more in like digital marketing. So it's like more closer to like advertising, marketing. And like there, I took this like class. It's called like the American Advertising Federation. Like I didn't even know advertising was a thing, but my teacher was like, "Oh, get some extra credit, go to this presentation." So these kids, sorry if y'all want me to go back.
No,
this
no,
way,
No,
too.
all good. Yeah, it's all good.
But
Yeah.
and like so basically I went to this presentation, and so these students like presenting, and AAF is pretty much where you do a full marketing like 360 campaign like start to finish, with like a mock budget. So they give you a brief and like a challenge, and then your assignment is like based to like, answer that question. And whatever team do the best, you compete in New York City and like go.
Okay.
So that was like kind of like my first time seeing that. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, this is cool. I was like, I don't know what this is, but they had a whole bunch of presentations and graphs and people was talking so like, smooth. I was like, damn, they're persuading me. So I was like, I got to do that. And that's kind of like where I like really got the interest in it, like in college. Cause I didn't know, like, I feel like black people, like, people of color, like we don't really know about like different careers. It's very much like doctor or lawyer,
teacher,
engineer was my only other route.
A city job, that's where the parents try to push you. So I was like, this whole world, I was like, oh crap, this is cool. It touches entertainment. I was like, what's public relations? So I was like, I got to get into this. And then I took the class the next year. It was more of a club. And I met this like really dope professor. His name is like Michael Jones Kelly. And he's like one of those like madmen, like old school white dudes.
Oh,
like,
damn.
I'm talking about he smoked the cigarettes from freaking like the reservation. Like,
back in the day. Yeah. I know the type.
Like super creative. So I took the class with him. And he kind of like inspired us like all to get into it. And then, and I kind of went from there. And like I won this award. I don't really want to say it because it sounds super bougie.
No, say it.
But like, but basically, there's like this like award you apply to. It's like the most promising multicultural students in advertising.
Okay.
Wow.
And it's just like something you get like when you're in AAF, like you apply, and it's really because like to give opportunity to like minorities in that space. So I was like, damn, like I'm gonna shoot my shot. Like I had a lot of other good candidates at my school that applied, but I was like, screw it. I put my like 2 cents in, and then I got it, and that opened me up to all the different like agencies and like marketing like places. And that's really where I got like my foot into the door. I was like, I don't know what I'm getting myself into, but I was like, I'm a network, mingle, hand in my resume. And that's kind of like where I got my first like job and like kind of started meeting people. And then my first job I started is a place called like Publicis Group. And they have these like, there's like these like holding companies that own a whole bunch of other agencies. Okay. And that's where I kind of started. And I worked on like Samsung. I worked on like Church and Dwight, and that's like Arm & Hammer baking soda.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was like, I know that.
So that's like everything. Clorox, Kaboom. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And then they have all of that. So
shit.
That was like I worked there, and then my second company was terrible.
What was it?
It was
do you know
awful.
what I say?
I'll say it. It was at this place. I don't know. I don't care. But the place was called Code Word.
Okay.
And I specifically worked on Google. The clients were fine. Like the work could have been more exciting, but it was a lot of like web development type of stuff. Okay. So it wasn't like sexy, like you go on TV making commercials. Yeah. But it was cool. But just my like the experience for my mental health was not the best. It's pandemic. It's like protests going on, and I'm like, y'all want me to work, and y'all also being on some like text me back. Like right now, like I'll be driving, you from Queens, you got to drive everywhere. Yeah. I'll be driving, and then they would be like, "Oh,
we need this."
They would be like, "Oh, you didn't respond to me in the last 5 minutes. You got to be more proactive."
The fuck?
I'm like, "Do you want me to crash while I'm getting my response to you?"
Now you got nobody.
So it was that, and now where I'm at is like my favorite place I've been so far.
That's good.
So it's like it's called Wyden and Kennedy. They do like the Saweetie meal from McDonald's. Yeah. That's one of our clients. So we did that. That's we did like the Cactus Jack.
Oh shit.
So like we do like we're really tapped in, or they that's their motto is like making marketing and advertising that like speaks to culture. Yeah. So like I like it there. It's a lot of like diverse creatives, a lot of like opportunities. So people just very supportive, like stuff like this. Like people be like, "Oh, you trying to start a podcast? Like, let me know you need any help." I'm like, "Oh, I just need to do it. I just need to get there." So it's like a nice, really like encouraging environment. So I've been there 2 years, and I love it. Like it's just to see it and like to help. Like I do like a lot of mentorship for like other like young like people trying to get into the industry, just because just to help others to figure out. So
I wanted to ask. So you were saying before the podcast started, you were saying like a lot of black creators or black people themselves don't really know about this type of jobs and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, is that a thing that's like motivating you to keep going through? You're like, yo, I have like a really rare opportunity to be doing this thing and making certain ads with Saweetie and people of the culture kind of representing that across like America and stuff on commercials and whatnot.
That's a good question. I would say yes. Okay. It has made me feel more motivated to not only, how can I say, to stay in the industry, but to use the things that I learned to like help make others. Something more or like help others. Because I think like in advertising, it's a really great field and you get to touch so much. But I think if you don't like realize the opportunity, you might get like stuck in like the hamster wheel of just like being another employee or another body.
Another gear in the car.
But it's like, but I feel like the people that I get excited about are the people who are like, multifaceted. It's like, okay, they might do marketing, but you might see them do a TED Talk, or they might do like, open up a business, or do like a, like a networking or like work fair for people to like to look into jobs, like using their like experiences to like, help others or like do big shit. Like, cause I think sometimes like, I don't know, you can get caught up in like the rat race of these jobs. Yeah. So yeah, it definitely does motivate me because I think most professional industries, like especially the ones that, like diverse communities don't know about, they were like that for a reason, right? It was like built because white people, they built professionalism or they built the kind of like norms of like how
to run a job,
how to seem like you're buttoned up and speak a certain way. So like, I like that my company kind of like dispels a lot of that, and they're like, come as your unique self, dress how you want, like don't be no crazy shit, but like,
be comfortable.
Yeah, be comfortable because they know that people like look like us. We are culture. 9 times out of 10, you see a client and they have a brief. What do they want to do? They want to reach out to diverse audiences. Like, how are you gonna do that? You bring the diverse audience and the minds on. So I think it does motivate me, or just to speak up in rooms. Like, I work on Ford right now, so it's like it's like a very traditional middle America type of company, but it's like sometimes they need somebody to be like, I'm sorry, if you're trying to reach out to the Black and Hispanic audience, this is not slapping. This is not gonna slap. Or
this Taylor Swift song is not.
No, and you hear it like you see the things like like the big ones we know about, like the Kylie Jenner thing or whatever. But like day to day, they just need people. So I think that is like a good motivator of like respecting like that we always have like a place at these tables. Because I think sometimes when you're younger, you can think like, are you fresh into these like places? You don't realize it. You gotta shut up, or you gotta be like, oh, I gotta be quiet. But I'm like, you got a unique perspective, so it like that does like light the fire to just keep doing stuff and just keep trying.
So along those lines, how hands on do you get then with the marketing stuff? Like, do you like more do I don't know, like like how hands on do you get with it?
That's a good question. Like, so I'm an account manager. So like, I am not necessarily, I still consider myself creative, but my role is more the middleman between my agency and
the
creatives. So I pretty much just kind of am like that middle point of contact. So we get a brief, we know kind of Ford system. So we go to our team and be like, hey, we want to make a commercial for the new Super Duty reveal. That's like something I recently worked on. So it's like, we'll do the strategy with the clients. We'll like do that with our strategists, and then we'll see it all the way to like the end with our creatives and like our production team we end up working with. I would say at my level, it's a bit of a mix. Like, I'm hands-on in the day-to-day, like highly of moving things along. Like, I'm following up the team when we get feedback, and like I'm going to my creators and being like, this is exactly what we need to do. Consider changing this, like, to make sure like my team is also heard in the client. So I would say 50-50. I would want more opportunity to go on productions and shoots. So far, I've like traveled I've actually traveled 3 times with my job so far. Hey. I went to a really fun shoot in like Seattle. Not Seattle. I'm lying to y'all. I went to Portland and then we went to Washington.
Okay.
Gotcha.
The main shoot was in Washington.
For Nike, or you just...
This is for Ford. So we partnered with we do work highly with Nike.
Yeah, I was like Portland stuff. I'm like,
yeah, that's like
there.
one of our big like Just Do It. We did that like my
Hey.
so like the they Just Do It and like the Colin Kaepernick thing, like we did that as well.
Yeah.
But we have a Portland office and a New York office.
Oh, okay. Do you ever feel like, especially you working with Ford, do you ever feel like the token black guy? Because like I feel like obviously like I know like that's the position you're in, and like, you have the responsibility as a black man in any company. But it's also like for you to go for the Kaepernick thing. I'm sure there was like a second thought you had being like, I wonder why you're sending me for this.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I think sometimes you can feel that way only because it's unfortunate. Like you don't have a lot of people that like look like you in these spaces. Yeah. So it's like to some people who are not used to that diversity, you do become that person of like what's your POV on this, or like how are you feeling? And sometimes like I don't want to talk about every major traumatic event that's happened to y'all. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I might be talking with my friends in like a more lax setting, but I think it's people get very like assumptive. So I think sometimes, or not this place, but my very first job, this, you know, like a lot of these processes have been going on for like years. I mean, years now, like, you know, and like at this time, like there was some, I forget which situation it was, but I remember like all my coworkers coming up to me. Oh, I think it was something like when I was working on Samsung, we had found out that they like were making like certain like systems that were like in police cars. Like they had like a page, like a B2B page. Yeah. And like everybody was like, oh, we got to take this down. Like, you know, it was like, the climate is like, you know, too hot right now. And we, like everybody was coming up to me and was like, oh my God, Brandon, like, how do you feel? Like, I know like this is like so hard for you right now. And I'm like, I even if
care for real.
right? Like it's not like I'm not, you know, like I don't
I'm in trouble with the police, so this is never gonna be a problem for me.
Yeah, so it's like I really can't control what Samsung does. So like it might impact me, but like not that heavily where y'all should. Yeah. So I think sometimes, or you know, they're trying to like reach out to an audience and they'll be like, oh, what do you think? I'm like, girl, I can't speak for the whole black community. But I think you should, you know, speak to a few more people. Like, so I think sometimes you do get put in that like box just due to like scarcity and also just people not knowing. And I typically just try to correct people. Like if they do come to me, I'll just be like, nah, I don't want to talk about that. I try to be very honest. Or like not in the mood to talk about this right now, or like, you know, I'm also like gay, so like some of my coworkers be like, "Hey, queen," and I'm like, "When have I ever told you?"
That's wild.
I wouldn't be referred to that way. So I think it's just like people get excited, but I don't know, a little bit too excited. So I just try to like, you know, try to be like my nice self, but like just like shut it down.
Yeah.
That's definitely the thing I'm like not experiencing, but like learning and going through in my job. Because like again, like I'm outreach now, and it's like they definitely want my perspective on things, but I'm like, is this like for another reason outside of just like my perspective? Is it because I'm the black guy here that's supposed to be running the program? And it's like, I don't know if I want to keep going what you guys are trying to do all the time. So it's like, I'm trying to just learn from you, literally, just listening to this and being like, okay, yeah, I definitely have a voice, but it's like, I guess you got to pick and choose what time.
Pick and choose, because like I feel like people will come to you, and then it's like, and you know, I call it stinking thinking, but then you're like, where's your mind at? Every time you know what I'm saying, like. Or like prime example, like when Kanye was doing his like most recent rants, it's not that what Kanye's saying is not crazy, but I personally notice, and I'm sorry, I'm like keep bringing up race so much, but like I notice like sometimes like people like other cultures, they'll like keep asking you like, what do you think about Kanye? Like that's so crazy, like almost like not villainizing like black people, but then it's like I'm not that voice for the whole community because it was like Kanye at the same time, Kyrie. And I came to a point where I was like, I'm not talking to white people no more about black stuff unless I bring it up or like it's a conversation worth having. But it's like, because then it starts to like purport like, we're the only faces for these crazy things. But then like, y'all also probably heard about like the UFC CEO who boxed his wife. And if you didn't hear about it, then that's crazy. But okay, but another thing, why wasn't that top of mind? You know what I'm saying? The same way. Because it's like, I know these are celebrities that are doing these things and they big personalities, but at the same time, it's like we don't talk about the same stuff consistently. So it's like I think get to a point where it's just like, you know, you pick and choose like things that are actually things you're invested in, as opposed to like, are you just asking me? To your point, like just because I'm like the black person, and I'm just like, I'm work with you and I'm here.
Yeah.
So you brought up you traveled a little bit, and Danny was telling me like you like to travel alone.
Yeah.
How did you start doing this? Again, as a black man, as a gay black man, this is a wild thing to hear. So I was like, how did you start doing this? What made you start going through this? And what kind of trips did you go to?
Okay, that's a good question. I would say what got me into traveling by myself was just the idea of not having to ask other people. Like, I kind of just like doing this in my day-to-day life of like just popping up or just doing something like that switches up a norm for me. So it's like, I like the idea of like, oh wait, if I have the money and I want to go,
and I got the time.
I got the time. I'm like,
you're solo.
I can
Why
just
not?
make it happen.
Yeah.
I was like, hold up. You know, sometimes I feel like, you know, you'd be like, oh, I'm going to do this, this, and this. And you're like, you're waiting for like a sign. You're like, nah, dude, you can start planning this today. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I started feeling that little empowerment. So low key, my plug, he used to, he would travel everywhere. You know Eric. Or
Is it the one I put you on? That's crazy because I put him onto the plug.
Danny doesn't even like do it.
And I don't. I
He
just.
doesn't. Years ago, but me and him hit it off.
dead.
So I follow him on Instagram. He always traveling. And I'm like, him and his girlfriend went to Aruba. I was like, that seems fire. I'm doing that.
Yo.
So I was like, leaving my last job for my current job. And I told him, I was like, I need at least like 2 weeks off to like relax.
Okay.
And in that 2 weeks, because I kind of knew I was going to get it, I was like, perfect, I'm booking a trip. The second they was like feeling me, I was like, boom, I'm going on a trip. Because I know I'm about to quit this other one, give me my 2 weeks. So I was like, perfect. So my first trip, I went to Aruba. And it was fun. Like, I really enjoyed it. It went the exact like way I thought it was. I met people while I was there. I went on excursions. Like, people were welcoming me in. Like, I met these like dope women from New Jersey who brought me to dinner with them.
That's fire.
I met these 2 nurses who were from like Brooklyn and Long Island. Oh, wow. And they actually knew another one of our friends,
Really?
Danielle Parker.
Oh shit, I remember.
Like,
yeah.
we follow each other on Instagram.
Small
Oh
world.
shit.
Telling
If
you,
that
so I
ass
was like,
is.
that's insane.
If
I was
that
like,
ass
okay, this
is.
is gonna be lit, and we all kind of met. We had like a little posse, so like by the end of the trip, I was like, yo, I don't want to leave. It was like leaving summer camp. It was like, oh my god, like I'll give you your information. We gotta hang out. I ain't seen none of their asses since.
Damn.
Met in Aruba, came back, didn't talk to him.
No, like, you know,
That's
we might see each other on
hilarious.
Instagram, but so that was like my first trip, and it was just like nice. It just taught me how to like. At that time, I think I needed the reassurance. Of,
Wait,
like,
that was your first alone trip?
first alone trip.
To
I went
Aruba?
solo.
Did
I
you
went to
fly out or was it a cruise?
I flew out.
Flew
I
out,
wanted
okay.
the full like stay on the island
Yeah.
experience, and it exceeded my expectations because it's like I would recommend it to anybody. Like, it's a beautiful place. And if you're not particular on like old or young vibes, like it does skew older because it's like only freaking middle-aged rich people can go
Gotcha,
there.
yeah.
But beyond that, I was chilling. Nice resorts. You could go
Yeah.
on like a yacht like tours. So I was like, man, let me
was
like,
living.
do this. I was
There
living.
you
So
go.
like, it was just fun because I was like, it really taught me. I was like, yo, it just felt nice to be like by yourself and people like really messing like with you. Like, oh, no mom, no sister, no friend. It was like, okay,
Whatever
they
you
cool.
wanna
You know,
do,
they
you can
vibing
do.
with you because it's like you. And if they didn't vibe with you, there was so much to do there where it was like, yo, I would just go to the beach and like just eat and have a blast. Like, it was like,
Fire.
I would be chilling. Like, I would have my little cocktails, food. I was like, yo. So I was like, so that was like my first bat with it. And I just thought it was just like refreshing. And then I tried it again. I went to Puerto Rico.
Okay.
Hey.
And that was not as fun because I think Puerto Rico is like a New York City, just like on an island.
Oh,
or
is it?
something.
I've yet to go, so
Like,
I.
not as like, but it's like, you know, it's like a island town, you know. So
Yeah.
it's still busy. So it's like, yeah, you have access to, you know, like like everything else, like casinos and everything. And it was nice because you don't need a passport to go.
Oh,
So
yeah,
it was
yeah,
like
yeah.
it was like easy. So I went for my birthday and I had fun still. But like due to where I stayed, like it wasn't like a resort or anything. So it was just like it was chill.
Gotcha.
I still had a blast. Like, I would recommend like my number one things I've learned is just like go on excursions because like
Those are always fun.
I'm telling you,
Those are always
you
fun.
get to meet people. I'm sorry,
Nah,
You
it's
good? You
good.
good?
and go on excursions, and just talk to people and like tell them your situation. Like I was like, I get
What
nervous.
would you tell? Like, how would you approach people?
How would I approach people? A lot of times people approach me. They notice if you're by yourself.
Yeah.
So like, I really had some like nice women, especially when I was in Puerto Rico. Like that's why it was like, was still a great trip. Like there's one woman, she's like a taco truck owner in LA. We just both eating by ourselves. She's like, my man got me mad. So
yeah, that's how it starts.
So she was like, oh, what are you doing here? And I was like, oh, I'm by myself. I'm just vibing and eating. So, you know, we sit at the same table, we eating, and we just chopping it up. She's talking about her kids, and, you know, she's just super cool. So she kind of approached me. And then we low-key saw her, man, because we were, like, on the second floor, John. He looked pissed. I was like, yo, don't give me no mess while I'm out here. Like,
I'm gay.
I swear. Like, it's like, he probably doesn't even understand. Like, it's not what it seems like, dude. And then, so that was, like, I'd say, like, probably, like, really funny. I also met another one, man. She was really beautiful, and she was with her boyfriend outside the casino. She's like, oh, what you doing by yourself? And we just chopped it up. She's like, oh, that's so brave. Like, people think it's like, you know, people kind of find it admiring. So it's like, I would say, how do I approach someone? I just kind of tell them like, oh, hey, like, can you take a picture of me? Like, I'm by myself. Like, and then try to start the conversation. And then most times if like they're cool people, they'll be like, yeah. But there are some weirdos that like think it's weird.
I can imagine.
Like, so it's like both of us. I'm like, ah, shit. Like, cause you know, they judging me. And I'm like, damn, I'm just literally chilling.
You're just trying to vibe.
Yeah, but then I can see like why people be like, wait, by yourself? Like,
yeah, because Danny told me, and I was like, why?
Like, I'm going to Costa Rica this summer.
Wow.
Hey.
But I just like to book the ticket and then just kind of like
You just go.
lock it in.
Is that what you book,
happens.
or do you book the resort as well, or you just plane ticket and then you figure it out?
I start with the plane ticket first because I think that's like the most important.
That definitely is.
Like,
it fluctuates the most.
It fluctuates the most, and also it's like I mean, some people like plan in advance to avoid this, but like worst case scenario, you can kind of plan not that well and still make it work.
Oh yeah,
if you like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you just have the flight, but if you book a resort or something, and then flight cancels or something, and it's like when you like want to back out of it at the last minute, it's like a little bit harder. But I feel like flights are just like more transferable. Like, all right, I'm gonna use this money for like another thing. So I always book the flight first. And I try to book it like way in advance, and then I get into like my planning mode like a month or two before. So, but I love traveling by myself. It is like the biggest like solace. Have y'all like
get to
planes?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Yeah. Like, why not? Or you're just not your thing?
I just haven't had a chance to. I might be going to Greece. So.
Hey, word! Oh, visit Shania. We have a friend out
We have a
there.
friend that's out there. She's studying
word!
abroad,
Oh shit! You should go.
Yeah, and
you
I was
should
like,
go.
all right, yeah, I might go. Fuck it.
Yeah. That'll be dope. Y'all should definitely.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Are you thinking about going too?
No, it's not. I don't know, but I might. Let me know when. I've just never done a solo trip. I've done a lot of trips, but it's always with someone, at least someone else, like a friend, something.
It helps.
It helps. Yeah, it definitely helps. Yeah.
Because I went to Mexico last March with my roommate, and we fucked it up.
We're friends. Yeah.
Not even like on some crazy like. Hopefully, I'm not doing too much profanity on y'all podcast.
No.
But we curse all the time. We curse all the time.
But nah, because we went to Mexico. I would say with a friend, I would say somewhere like Mexico, you gotta go with somebody else.
Gotcha.
Like, it's so much
what
fun.
city?
We started in Cancun, and then we went to Tulum.
Okay.
I be saying Tulum, but everybody be like, that's not how you say it. So, and it was like super fun. Like just like the restaurants, everybody's like gorgeous. I was like, I felt like a model. I wasn't even dressed the nicest, but I was just in that circumference and area. Like, have you ever been to like any of like is it Rosa Negra group? Like Taboo is like the restaurant.
No, I haven't. But it's like that vibe.
If you go, it's just nice. They bring like a violinist. It's like
okay. I've been like in Florida. I've been to restaurants like that where they.
I'm like, give me the full experience.
Yeah.
I was like eating my steak. I was like, I don't want to leave. Like, how can I stay here? So yeah, I would say like if you go to a friend, like Mexico, and like Tulum and Cancun, like, it was perfect. I would not change anything about those trips.
What's your favorite part of traveling?
Ooh, favorite part about traveling. Honestly, and it's gonna be like, I don't know if it's like cop out answer, but the real like just the ability to change your perspective. Like, I think you can go to anywhere in the you do it in the States too, but just like going to another country and just like being immersed there. Something about it like is just like beautiful to me. Like I be wanting to live there. Like
I feel
that's
you.
how I would be. If I want to travel, I would want to just like be immersed in the day to day, just see
Yeah.
how it is, just see how what that day to day life is like.
Yeah, and it's like that's like the best part because I feel like, especially my family, like I think I'm the only person that ever really did like solo travel, like really like go to other places and stuff. My mom, she went to Israel recently for the first time.
Nice.
And that was like on like a church trip, so she was by herself. But she was with a group still. You know what I'm saying?
She was with God.
Yeah, you with God, and, you know. so I feel like just like something about that is just like something about like being like that first person to like have these experiences, like changing that perspective is like so nice. And like I feel like that's how the world is meant to be. Like we're all meant to be like seeing different stuff,
learning new cultures, meeting new people.
Like that
it definitely opens your view on the world, meeting, because we're so closed off to New York, and New York's like, pretty rough.
Yeah, but I feel like New York's so diverse that like you kind of feel like you don't need to.
Even then, yeah.
Because like I can walk like 2 blocks and be in like a whole Chinese area.
But attitudes overall are close, pretty the same, no matter what neighborhood. It's New York. Attitudes are all up there.
Yeah, no, and I think that's like the best part about a place like New York, where I think is so appealing, is like to y'all's point, is like, you know, it's like a city, but you really can access so many different vibes.
Yeah,
it's like it's not even funny. Like even being on, honestly. I feel like I was in like 7 different areas today just getting over here on the train.
Oh, yeah. On the 7,
traveling New York.
7 alone.
4 different cultures.
I had to go. I was like, I thought I was going to have to take the L towards Queens.
Yeah.
It took me, no. It
to
the L to Manhattan.
Yeah.
Then I had to take I was like, okay, but like you get so many different like flavors, and then you get to see like the different.
And that's just a train ride.
Yeah, but then like I got the train, I was like, first thing I know is like, you know, it's like Flushing is like hustle and bustle. It's like busy, a lot of people. In Brooklyn, I live in Bushwick. It's still busy. Yeah, but it's still busy, but it's like more so like not as like so many like people like day in and day out. So just even like that little simple thing, I'm like, yo, I don't be getting out the house enough. You know, you start staying in your pocket. So I think that's the nice thing about like New York is like you still get new experiences. Like you go to a new area, a new restaurant. Like I've been liking that a little bit more. Like not being like a nomad in the city, but like after work, like I'll go have dinner in the city as opposed to go straight home.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I usually like rush home, but I'm like, let me change my little perspective a little bit and like let me go sit down, give me some good like, you know, I always go like get some like Asian food, but like something that's gonna be like tasty, like and I'm just like, yo, I see something different, I get like a different vibe. And then now I ain't gotta worry about eating when I get home.
Hey,
so
that's true.
Catch all.
That is true. Is there any place you haven't traveled to? You want to travel to?
Ooh.
Besides Costa Rica.
Okay.
Going,
That's coming up. Oh, even though I heard that actually no, I had 2 answers. So actually I'm just gonna say the one I started with. Even though I heard that they're not the most diverse friendly, just optically I would say Italy. Just
Italy.
Like the way the structures are like into the coastline and like it just gives me cinematic. Like I would feel like I'm in like a movie. Like that is what is the most appealing to me, because it's like, you know, you go places, but like something about it just seems like luxurious, but also like getting on the canals and traveling via boat. Like I don't travel. I think I took the train here. Like,
it's different.
To get on like the canal as my mode.
On the ferry.
Nah. Try right. But like, so I think something like that would be cool.
Have you been to any other or Europe in general or no?
Never been to Europe.
Highly recommend Barcelona.
Yeah,
just
went.
I just went with my mom.
Yeah,
highly recommend. I loved it.
Barcelona.
Yeah,
I want to go.
It's a great city.
Is that like near? I mean, Mallorca, or is that in?
It's
Spain?
It's in Spain. It's right on the coast.
Okay.
Yeah, it's right on the coast, so it's not inland, and it's just nice. It's not too big of a city, but there's a lot to do. I love the vibes. It's nice.
Nah, I want to check it out because I feel like live my cheetah girls fantasy. But I feel like
Tap into a different level.
Crazy, because then I went to Portugal. I went to Portugal after too. It was crazy.
But I want to go because I feel like Europe is just like, it's one of those things. I feel like, I don't know why it feels like I'm not out of reach, but It's just further.
It is further.
Like, that's like a real.
It's a lot further trip. Yeah,
like,
it's 9 hours.
Yeah, and I'm not ready just yet.
Yeah.
Like, in my mind, I'm supposed to be doing that when I can do like business class in my own little cubby, but that's also bread. I don't got that yet. So,
hey, one day.
One day, no,
Yeah.
we gonna get there for sure. Like
Yeah.
that's in the cards. But nah, I just feel like I've never been to Europe. I want to go there, but I want to see everything. Like Australia sounds dope. Obviously, I made it to the motherland. Because I be feeling embarrassing like when people ask me certain questions. I was like, I actually don't know geographically where this is at. Like I feel bad. Like so, I definitely want to go there as well and like really get immersed and like see things. But that trip, I want to do like a month or something. Like,
That'd be dope.
I would have to like stay there a minute, like work something on my job, whatever. But like quit my job. I really I'm like
I'm on the market. I don't need a job no more.
No, I'm in that phase of my life too. Like it's not that these jobs aren't worth having, but like life is meant to be lived.
It is.
You know? It's like so. I would love to like go somewhere like that for like a month, or just like if I get a sabbatical one of these days, just do it for like the long run. That'd be dope.
Has your love of traveling influenced your job and like what career path you want to go on?
Ooh, that's a really good thought. I would say traveling has definitely changed my mindset and like my perspective as it relates to my career. Like I notice how like in other places that are not as influenced by American culture and like being so, we're like, how can I say? I don't know the right phrase for it, but it's like there's like this like phrase where it's like we're always chasing something in America. Yeah. Like you can become a millionaire. Now that millionaire wants to become a billionaire. And now that billionaire wants to own all the biggest companies in the world. It's like it always becomes like a rat race of us like not being satisfied with what's in front of us. Yeah. But you go other places and people seem so happy with their day-to-day lives or, with just the necessities, shelter, food, family, love, experience, like, and I feel like sometimes we forget that. So I think like it's definitely opened my mind of like, as I work these jobs, I'm, I can't like I can't speak about it and like I'm still in it, but like I'm still in the trenches of it. Yeah. Ideally would love to get to a place where I can live more like that, where it's like work doesn't necessarily feel like a job. Yeah. It feels like more like natural or free flowing, where it's like I have space to be human, you know what I'm saying? See family members, talk to friends, like do stuff like this. Like that is like the world that I think I would want. So I think like traveling has opened my mind up. Or like the people who like we see are like mad successful. They just they just like tap in and they just like do stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I think sometimes you can like being here all the time, you can get easily caught up in that, like just the rat race of just never being happy or like not always needing to do something. Yeah, like, wanting more. You wanting more, like, you know what I'm saying? Every times I'm in my crib on a Sunday, I'm like, oh, like, why do I feel so stressed out? Because you don't know how to relax. You don't know how to relax because I think that's the environment we live in. But then you go on vacation, for instance, relaxing. That's your number one purpose. But it doesn't have to be a vacation to like,
that is
take
true.
Those liberties and stuff. So it's like, I don't think that's the number one thing I learned. It's just being more open to like that, like happiness and like the mindfulness of just remembering like, okay, it is not that serious. Like you're stressed about this email. People are going through crazier shit, or it's not that deep. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it reminds me just to go for a walk during my day as opposed to getting mad at my boss. I'm like, yo, bro, you're so pissed because you haven't eaten and you haven't stepped out of this apartment and it's 4:00. It's like, so it's like little stuff like that is like, it reminds me of like how to find that like happiness or like that
time of peace
day to day, as opposed to like needing it to be a vacation or like being something I spend like that bread on.
Yeah, I need to get like you. No, because I'm stressing every day. I'm like, I need to work on something, whether it's the podcast, my own YouTube channel, or just work itself. I'm like, I gotta be doing something. But then like those times where I have that peace, I'm like, I feel relaxed. Like I feel better. Like I don't need to be working on something every single second. Like taking that time to have peace is good for you. So. Yeah,
because it's like you have to give yourself like that grace to enjoy it, or like at least the way I see it is like, or you're not gonna you know, or like, are you doing it for the right reasons at
Yeah.
that point? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you doing it because like you actually want to, or
Or
are you
you
doing
just
it
doing
out of
it
like
just to do
stress,
it?
or like,
Yeah.
you feel like you like, to your point, like, you know, you need to do it. And I struggle with that because like I said, like I'm starting into a place where like I want to try more stuff like this and start my own podcast down the road and just like, I don't know, just like try different things. Like I just never
experiences.
Yes,
Yeah.
like I never want to box myself in. Like I struggle with that in my job too, but and just remind myself, it's just like, you know, give yourself that grace of like, okay, this year you probably needed the time to rest.
Yeah.
And like, you know, get your stuff together. Like I said, like this is my first apartment. Like, you know, we live with my roommates where I'm out, like not living with my family anymore. So my first year, I wanted to do everything. I wanted to be
outside.
social, be outside, start businesses, start these different things, and life didn't take me that way. I ended up just chilling around a lot, getting comfortable and acclimated with work, and then like this year, like I feel like much like more like healthier in the sense of like, you know, I started going to the gym. I'm more open and like communicating my POV and my opinion. And like, okay, now this is a year to start
There you
like,
go.
you know, trying out dabbling and shooting your shot. So I think it's like, you know, pull and take. But I think I could have been mad at myself that full year, or like been resentful and been like, damn it, you wasted a whole year in New York City living in Bushwick. It's so diverse, so many creative people. You're not doing this, and this. Oh my God, like, you know, it's like, so it's like, just reminding myself.
Yeah.
That's
think,
good you
like,
didn't though.
we all need
That could have been bad. Could have held up this year as well. It's like
Yeah.
but that's good.
Yeah, because I feel like it's easy to build up. Like, we're our own harshest critics. Right?
That is, yeah,
So
for
it's
sure.
like, it's easy to like not give yourself that grace and like, I don't know. I heard somebody say this and I thought it was like a good thing. Is like, well, at least when you have like your inner conversations, like trying to be that friend to yourself that you try to be to other people. Because oftentimes we don't.
That's
hard to
tough
do
as
that,
fuck.
man.
Yeah.
Because
I definitely be trying to do that to myself, and it's just like, I don't know. I just want to keep pushing myself to do more instead of just like, yo, chill, relax, yo, do your thing, like just chill. And it's like I can't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel that.
No, I feel that.
Is there any jobs or companies you want to work with next within marketing?
Okay, that's a good question. I think for my career so far, like in
Or do
advertising,
you want to build your own brand? Actually,
these are all great questions. So in marketing and advertising, there's like two sides. It's like the agency side, so it's like more so the people who get hired by a brand like Ford, let's say, to handle their marketing or whatever piece of business they have. So it might be like one campaign or commercial or like their day-to-day just creative stuff.
Yeah.
Or you can go to the client side where it's like, you know, a little bit more autonomy. So like instead of like working for White and Kennedy, you could work for actual Nike or something like that. So I definitely want to go brand side.
okay.
If I did stay in like this particular industry, I do think I would want to make a transition. Like I would want to go into music or entertainment. Like I just want to kind of just see it. Like, you know, you always dream about it. Like, Hot 97 would be fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think I want to be in like an environment like that. So like maybe not Hot 97. I mean, it would be great, or like one of those type of shows. But any entertainment like Revolt would be fire, or production company that does like music videos, or even like a record label. I have a boy that works at Sony. And I'm like, that would be fire.
I think I met him at your birthday. I think I met him.
Here, like he's in A&R, and I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah,
He's
that's
working in
dope.
finance.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't let me see my enemy up. I make this little transition. So I think definitely brand side, but outside of that, I think my passions, like I do want to start my own like business or my own brand. I've thought about a few things, but I think the overall goal would be to help younger people learn about these types of industries and also learn how to like be autonomous in these spaces. Because I think I'm in a situation, or I've been in a situation, like as a Black person, you can get hired at these companies and they will just run you dry if you don't know how to play the game the same way your peers might. Like, all right, you need to stay up all night and answer emails because this is your first job. So they kind of like not pimp you out, but it's they will take as much as you give, and they'll pay you the lowest possible salary if you don't know. They'll try to give you, you know, $38K, have you stay there for 3 years doing mad shit, and then they'll be like, okay, promotion to $58K, and that's what everybody else was already making.
That's what I was just going through at my job, bro.
So they'll give you the okie doke. So I think I would want to like start either like a summer camp or like some sort of workshop series to like help younger people learn about these industries and how to, like I said, be autonomous. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna teach you, you know, about marketing campaigns, but how can you use this for yourself?
Yeah.
So right now, it's like there's like I see it every day, and it's like I want to teach people about the shit that like I don't know about or things
You
I'm
wish
learning
you
about
knew.
that I wish I knew. So
Yeah.
like whether it's like, all right, if you start freelancing, you gotta know how to do your own taxes, or if you're into YouTube, here's 10 ways to monetize that or things to do. I have one cousin, this little dude, he lives in Miami with my first cousin's kid.
Mm-hmm.
He makes bread over just making thumbnails for YouTube videos.
Oh.
Other content creators. I didn't even know that was a hustle.
No, yeah, I'm trying to get into the
I'm
hustle.
telling you, I didn't even know that was a
I'm trying to
hustle.
get-
Like, and like to just teach people about like that end of it too. It's like, yeah, this is what you can do. Learn about the traditional things in marketing, like strategy, public relations, copywriting, design. Like those are for like tenants that is good to know all of that thing, but also learning how to like
Social media is
even
its own
if
game of marketing.
it's your
these
own
days.
game. It's a bag for everybody.
Yeah.
Like, and just figuring out like how to start stuff or like, you know, and also like just morally what all this stuff means, like how to have a good relationship with social media, how to like make bread off of it. Cause I think like, I think young people, they not having those conversations. And like, I think if we met them where they were at, you could have like the next wave of like the freaking next Virgil Ablohs and all of that if we help them learn how to use that talent now, like, you know, as opposed to villainizing people, like even like gaming, right? Like how many people used to get talk shit about for gaming?
Now,
and now
bag, they get
you
the
get you a
bag.
bag Twitch, you get a bag, or like I heard about this other thing, people making servers and games and they get
Oh yeah, Minecraft for
Come
Minecraft.
on, so it's like
that shit big.
Fortnite too.
Oh, for real? For Fortnite, they got
too.
that? Oh wow.
Come on. So just like, you know, putting that energy in other places to like bring on mentors and like bring on people to speak about it. But I think like that would be like my dream in the road, to just like do stuff like that and then stay tapped in. I hope you, you know, invite me to those events. Y'all become rich and successful.
Yeah, for sure.
It's crazy. A lot of things you're saying, like just kind of thoughts I'd be having my own, but I always feel like there's nobody else that really thinks this way. And it's like it's so crazy to hear you say it. It's like, yo, this is like at my YMCA, I was a teen advisor, and that's kind of like my whole message was just like, yo, I'm gonna just teach you guys about life and stuff.
Yes.
Even though you're in high school, but it's like it's good for you to have information now, because when you get to my age, you're like, okay, I'm on game about this now. Let me focus about this.
Yes.
So now when you're like 25, you're thinking like a 30-year-old, and it's like, it's you being old isn't cool, but it's smart long term, and you make more money and do better in life. So it's like, I see your whole vision. I'm here with you.
And help people to the exact point is like you telling the game now how much more successful and on the right foot will these kids, like these like kids or even young people, young adults, even people just graduating college might need these like tips and stuff. It's just like just knowing that the value you bring to the table and owning that, like, I think gets you further ahead in the world in life than, you know, I mean, we all need room to figure it out, but like, why does it always have to be like that for us?
There's some things where if you got one helping hand, it will go so far.
Come on.
Yeah, it's just one.
Because we've been through it. Like, we've experienced these things. So it's like, if we can help somebody else just not make the same mistakes or just like rethink certain things, like, it goes such a long way. And I think like I've been fortunate to have people like be in my ear, like, try this or do this. That's or really I'm going to look at your resume and I'm like, yo, that's helped me get to the point where I'm at now. But it's like, I'm aiming higher. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? And I want to help other people do it. So I think like my phases for this is like start doing it myself, like practice what I preach.
That's definitely step one.
And then start planning it. Because one of my coworkers, he just did a really dope career fair in Compton. Okay. And I was like, yo, this is what I want to do.
That's really dope.
Like, if I could do this for my life, just planning events and programming and bringing to spaces and like helping, like that would be the dream, you know? And then still doing fun stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I think I have like a storytelling, like I want to be a storyteller to, you know, tell different people's perspectives too. Like that's also like a side dream, like working in production. So just like helping other people. So I think that would be like the brand I would want to build. But yeah, if I stayed in the industry, I would want to do something like definitely entertainment for sure, 100%.
Okay. Is there any company you wouldn't want to work with? You guys do the polar opposite.
Oh gosh, that's a hard one. I don't think a particular company comes to mind at the top of my head, but definitely like a company that is not I wouldn't say not open. I would say companies that get into their own way. I will say that sounds like a hard answer, but like a lot of companies I've noticed in like my industry, they stop themselves from doing cool stuff. It's like they'll be like, we want to reach out to this audience. Perfect. Stop there. Yeah. But then they'll start adding on these stipulations. We want these people. We want this look and feel. We want this particular influencer.
Like they're stuck on old ways
and
sometimes.
Like, damn, by the time we work with this, and this, the only thing we influence is just
you.
Kind of how, so it's like, so I would say like brands that are not like just open. I'm trying to think. I don't want to badmouth any of the brands I've worked on already.
I got a scenario for you.
Okay, put me on. This is fun. I like a game.
Giving you a bag.
Okay.
Like a bag. Whatever a bag is to you, it's a bag. But your first ad campaign is the return of Kanye. How are you going to market it? What do you do in this situation? It's the return of Kanye. He's back to Adidas.
Oh, gosh.
He just said all this wildness. What are you doing?
This is a good one. I would say, I think I would not come out super commercial. Like, I don't think I would start with like a whole bunch of like social media posts.
Okay.
Like, I would start with like something like more niche, like a Fader magazine. And like a sort of kind of like documentary style interview with him, like get his feel, get him back on track, like good talking for cutting in, like edit that bad boy down. I'm not even running the fucking edit past him. Nah, he's not seeing no rough cuts, nada. He's gonna see it when it go live
until it comes out, and then he rants, and then he's like,
this wasn't my message.
And I think I would just like harp into his.
Can you just
sporadicness. But I think but I think I would like tap in, like I would like own his like unpredictability. Okay. Because other people, we like it, and I'm not saying Kanye said he digs himself into a hole.
He does.
So
that's
it's
the
not
thing.
that.
That's
but
the
if
tough part.
I had to, I think I would lean into the truths that we know about him. He's unpredictable. He says some crazy stuff. He loves his kids. I would like frame all of that up. So like whatever way. So like documentary interview, bring Lil Northwest, Chicago, all of them. And like we do a family interview.
You could include the music side of him.
Yeah, like show him producing and stuff. But I think like, but dive into the fact that he's like unpredictable, and like maybe like that'll be like a part of the partnership is like we only release Yeezys like randomly when Kanye's in the mood. And it's like it's
that would be hard.
I'm telling you, it's like it would have no like. I'm talking about that's what we would do. It'd be like we release the line, Kanye drops us a text, and that's when we drop it. And it's like perfect. I'm like boom. I was like, we could build a system, like, but I would lean into like
2 days after Christmas, coming out now. Boom. I don't know,
but I think I would own it because I think that's the only thing you can do with him. Otherwise, he's just gonna screw everything. Like, because he is unpredictable. He will go. I mean, like I was cool with Kanye. Not this past Drink Champs interview because I didn't watch it. But I think he did one before.
Drink Champs,
I saw that one. Great.
I didn't mind that. My family
was funny as fuck.
Word Trip. He was funny. He had jokes. He was giving himself like making himself like a human, real. It felt real. And I don't know what happened, or somebody tested him, and I don't know, like what goes through that man's mind. He's a billionaire. I don't even know what billionaires have to deal with. I had to take the train here. Kanye would choose to take the train with $70 million in his pocket. He would still take the train. So I don't know what goes through their crazy ass mind.
He'll buy the whole train just to sit by himself.
Why? So, but I will say, I think I would just have to like kind of remove that from myself and just like lean into that because he gonna dog you other way. So I would say that. That was a good question. I appreciated that one. That was funny.
I'll give you one good one just before we leave for the last question.
Okay.
If there's any celebrity you want to work with, what's the ad campaign? What's the company? What brand?
Oh, okay. Let me put my art director hat on real quick. All right. Artists that I would work with right now.
Or dead too. Yeah, you can.
Ooh, just because my brain is kind of racing right now. All right, I think I would do a campaign with her.
Okay.
Not announce that it's her on like any of the materials because I kind of like the fact that she's so big, but like no one knows what she looks like. So I feel like, and I think I would go like over the top with the clothes, like maybe.
And if you say her, they're like, who's her? Like,
yeah,
what
like
her?
I said,
like,
but maybe like a Supreme, like or like
she could be the female. Him? Oh yeah, this could go crazy.
I'm telling you, that's what I'm saying.
Go crazy.
So I think it would be her, and maybe like a brand like Supreme, or I mean, I wear like Nike, so probably like something like that. And I think just like the like the whole kind of like surprise and idea is just probably just like putting her in like just like super like, we still see her face, but putting her in like super just like dramatic like outfits from these companies, and then like just nobody would know. Like I think nothing they wouldn't know, but I feel like sometimes these companies bank on the like the look and aesthetic of like their models. So I just like the fact that if I saw a picture of her right now, I'd probably still
be like, is that
her?
Is that her?
She's a beautiful.
Because it's like, are we saying her? Like the artist name?
So her? I think something like that, but a little unexpected. Just 'cause I like that. I like that just about her. Mm-hmm. There's probably someone else like I'm thinking that's cooler, and it's gonna come to me after we're done. I think that's like my initial idea. I'm trying to think, but any brand, probably Supreme. Actually, I'm lying. Probably Nike, because I don't own Supreme. I don't own anything Supreme, so I just know they're like trendy.
Low key though, in the last couple years,
they've been dying.
Pretty quiet.
Like I see people wearing it like and stuff, but nah, I don't seem like it still got the hype that
it doesn't. It doesn't.
But yeah, her, maybe Supreme or Nike. And just do some crazy shit. There's probably like a brand I'm not thinking about. Or like her, like Mugler collab. Wait, sorry, now I'm just riffing on. But, wait, I'm capping. Okay, I'm going to re-answer this. We're going to just have to run that back.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay. The other brand, just because I feel like I love what she stands for, Fenty for sure. Because her fashion shows, I mean, are immaculate. Maybe just because I haven't seen them in the show yet, like Jasmine Sullivan. Okay. You know how like Maxwell performed in like the middle of the last one? Like Jasmine Sullivan like doing like a performance in the middle of that. Like that would be, I love her. And you also don't see Jasmine Sullivan a lot. That's like true. You know the voice, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I think giving her shine, because I feel like her last album was one of the best ones I've heard in like a minute. Like R&B, like real stuff, not talking about like, you know, I mean, I love my city girls too, like, but at the same time, you know, some real like love, real passion, love. Like Summer Walker, she talk about love too, but it's always about
heartbreak,
you know, heartbreak. So I like the Jasmine Sullivan. She was like, hers like Hotel. It's like,
you fuck with the last SZA album?
SOS. I liked it. It had to grow on me.
It had to grow on you?
In the sense of like I think there were just like too many songs that like I don't go back and replay. But it was good. Like it was a good project. It was different. But I think it could have probably been like 11 tracks as opposed to like how many there were.
I could see
like
that.
18 or something like that, right?
I could see that.
Yeah, I think she could have taken up like some of the ones that like weren't as hits, but they were good. And even like Kill Bill had to grow on me.
Really? I actually fuck with Kill Bill off rip. Yeah. Snooze is one of my favorites though.
Snooze people. That one's came out like after. I feel like more people have been on the Snooze train, Snooze vibe. But I'm part of the SZA Salad. I don't know what her group is called.
I've never heard that. Is that a thing? Is that what it's called?
That's what me and my roommate say. I don't think there's a better name for that though.
That's fire though.
Everybody's in the salad.
I might start saying that shit.
That's hilarious.
I feel like if that's not her fan base name, SZA.
It's about to be. Market it right now. Let's go.
Nah, but I liked it. It was good.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
I had so much fun.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
It's nice seeing you, man.
If you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure you guys leave a like down below. Download the episode. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Download the episodes on Apple, Spotify, and all other podcast platforms. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Deuces.
Peace.
Pew, 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 pew.